Okay. Today is Saturday, September 9th, 2017. It's 12:58 p.m. The terrorist bitch in the gray Honda Accord with her child and that bitch ass nigga driving that Ford truck ran their terrorist bitch asses up out of there early this morning like they always do. And like I always tell you, one of those terrorist bitches is always in that house, as you see from the levels that I posted this morning. Okay, so I'm still coughing up phlegm and throwing up. They're still dehydrating me. And at the same time, the terrorist bitch is doing something new. Now, Wednesday morning while I was in the shower, the terrorist bitch made it hard for me to breathe. Now, the only way I can describe this sensation, is it felt like I was drowning. You know how you're underwater, you're swimming, or maybe in the bathtub, you're letting the water cover your face, and you need to come up for air. Well, that's what it felt like, and that's what they've been doing since Wednesday morning. They did it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and they did it today, this morning. Now, just a few minutes ago, the symptoms lightened up. Now, when I say lightened up, I mean, although they were still making it feel like I was drowning, I guess that's their way of trying to prevent me from drinking fluids like Gatorade and water and tea and stuff. The symptoms just recently lightened up just a few minutes ago. Now, the headache still continues, and like I said, the symptoms lightened up. The pain in my chest, which made it feel like I was drowning, lightened up. That don't mean it's not there, it just lightened up. So, they're still doing this. Now, I got the papers here with me. I done filed, let me see if I can show you if I got a copy of it. But I done filed a $10 billion lawsuit against FBI agent Monica DeVaughn, against FBI agent in charge Gordon Johnson, against former, now retired FBI agent in charge Kevin Perkins, and of course, Jeff Sessions. Now, Jeff Sessions, I was told by the court clerk that Jeff Sessions needs to be notified whenever a federal agency is sued. This is the lawsuit. This is the cover sheet. This is the cover sheet. And you can see right there, $10 billion. Now, I may not ever get that. And, you know, that $10 billion, I may not ever get. Even if a judge or jury awards in my favor, I may not ever get that $10 billion. But the lawsuit has been filed. I filed it yesterday, Friday, September 8th, 2017. I filed it yesterday in federal court. And you see the court stamp right there on all the papers. Filed U.S. District Court. I filed that lawsuit. And of course, the judge has to read it over. Everybody will be notified. Of course, Monica DeVaughn, the only address I have for her is 3615 East Lombard Street. Since they put the house in her name, why not serve her at that house? U.S. Marshals will serve her when, I don't know. Okay, so from the time she served, they have 60 days to respond. Now, what do you think they're going to do within that 60 days? Of course, they're going to try to murder me some more. Whichever one of them terrorist FBI bitches that over there, like I told you, the other ones ran up out of there this morning. So whichever one of them terrorist niggas be over there. Now, of course, the only reason why I know that bitch name is because they put the house in her name, trying to make it seem like they live there. But of course they don't. None of them don't live there. Okay, so if you see me turn the phone, I want to make sure it's still recording. But none of them don't live there. None of them. Okay, so all of the other symptoms that I've been telling you about, real quick rundown. Headaches every day, dizziness, nausea, causing me to throw up every day, dehydrating me to the point where my lungs are so dry that I'm coughing up phlegm and I'm throwing up. Dehydration through excessive sweating, making me sweat profusely like they did this morning, and every day since, causing me to pee every few minutes. Now, instead of just making me pee every few minutes, when it comes on, when I have to pee, it don't come on slowly like it normally should, and and I can hold it and make it to a bathroom. Now it just comes on real fast, real strong, and I end up peeing on myself. And sometimes I end up peeing on myself. And I'm racing around trying to find a bathroom or find somewhere to pee so I don't pee on myself. Okay, the dreams continues to this day, causing me to have dreams about having sex with children or having sex with men. What else? I want to make sure I'm not leaving anything out. When I cough, because of them dehydrating me and the headaches they're causing, when I cough, I get extremely dizzy, and I'm driving around and damn near passing out. Because when I cough, I get dizzy and my eyes get real blurry and I can't see. And that brings me to the blackouts they've been causing me. As I told you, when I was driving the guy down to Virginia to see his son, those FBI terrorists, they knew when I was going because they watched me. They sitting over there watching with their thermal imaging cameras and all their listening equipment. And the elderly guy, instead of him just letting me come over there, he'll call me the night before. So, of course, they got my phone tapped, so they knew exactly when I was going, and he would call me the night before every time, whether it was 1 month on a Saturday or the next month or the Sunday, because they alternate months. And so they would make it so I couldn't get any sleep. I would close my eyes, but I wasn't asleep. So I pretty much stayed up all night. And when I got up, showered, got dressed, went over there, I'm driving them down there, and I started to black out. I blacked out several times and almost crashed. Drinking coffee doesn't help. Eating a whole lot of sugar doesn't help. No type of stimulant helped, and I ended up almost passing out several times. Okay, so what eventually ended up helping a little, I had to roll the window down and let the air hit me in the ear. Now, of course, it all starts with the ringing in the ears. Everything they've been doing started with the ringing in the ears. Now, I had to roll the window down to let the air hit me in the ear so that I could stay woke. They did this every day until I stopped going down there, from which the guy came home, and he's with his father now. And You know, then once I stopped going down there, that's when, they kept doing, they started doing the other stuff, like making me throw up. The terrorists and the gray infinity kept making me throw up every day. I cannot sit in my house in peace without them using this weapon on me. They have rotated several FBI agents in and out of that house. When they first started, of course, they put the house in Monica Devon's name, that black terrorist. But they had white FBI agents over there from Delaware. Well, they started from Pennsylvania. First, it was the FBI terrorists from Pennsylvania. They drive down from Pennsylvania here to work. Just like city police, city cops, they work here in the city, but they live in Pennsylvania or they live in Virginia. Same thing. Okay, so the FBI terrorists from Pennsylvania will drive down, stay in their house for 2-3 days, a week, whatever, 2-3 weeks. And then of course they rotate. Okay, so they started pulling the FBI terrorists from Pennsylvania out and put the ones from Delaware in there. Of course, the black ones, they caught the terrorists. The black ones, they will still come around. Okay, so after a while, I'm still posting videos, putting pictures and videos of their cars on YouTube. They started rotating them out. Now, nothing but the black ones are over there. But recently, not too long ago, which was Labor Day, I think it was, that just passed, the holiday, September 4th, one of those white terrorists from Pennsylvania driving that white Cadillac came down. Well, I shouldn't say came down. I should say came to that neighborhood because they come down every day to work. Okay. Now, they got those FBI terrorists, the black ones, over there. And it's just the black ones. Like I told you, they rotated all of the white ones out so the niggas can take the fall. Okay, so everything they've been doing to me, and they're still doing to this day, they're continuing. Now, years ago, when they first started using this weapon on me, I knew exactly what to look for. That's why after almost 2 years of sleeping on somebody's floor or sleeping in somebody's car, sleeping in my mother's car or on somebody's floor, I was able to borrow money to buy an electromagnetic field extremely low frequency meter. It's called the ELF EMF meter, extremely low frequency electromagnetic field. And again, you have to excuse me for coughing. This is one of the side effects of being a victim of this weapon. Now, they started using this on me in 2012, but I didn't get the meter until 2014, May of 2014, for which I started documenting. Found whatever camera my mother had around the house, and I started documenting levels. Of course, those AAA batteries didn't last long when I recorded, and some FBI bitch in that Cadillac over there on the parking lot driving around trying to find out where I am. The car's parked over there. So his terrorist bitch ass is trying to find out where I am because he can't see me. Anyway, that terrorist bitch is driving around the parking lot because he can't see me and he don't know where I'm at. So his terrorist bitch ass is driving around. Now let's see how long it takes that terrorist bitch to get out of that truck and walk around the school. Okay, so when I started documenting, I started doing research on this weapon, and I printed out a bunch of papers, back then, and I've been holding on to them since. Now, when I tried to find this website again, I couldn't find it. They erased it. Now, I told you how they hacked into all of my accounts. They hacked into Tiger Direct. They completely blocked vinylsearchers.com, which is a United Kingdom website store. They completely blocked it. Then they turned vinylsearchers.com into a website about skateboards. Then they turned it into something else. You have to excuse me again. And then they turned it into something else. Then, of course, I told you how they hacked into my Yahoo account. I had a Yahoo email account, and they locked it open so I couldn't close it. They kept putting shit in there that they wanted. Again, child porn and all that shit. So I just let it sit there. I opened up a Google account that they are currently hacked into and watching my YouTube videos, from which every video that I posted, FBI has been watching to alter and to learn what I know that they're doing to me. Now I'm sitting out here and look at this. See the terrorist bitch in that burgundy truck? Now, they could be just teaching somebody how to drive, but I tend to doubt it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I was telling you how they hacked into all my accounts. Every video that I post, FBI watch my videos and then alter or change or do something, thinking I'm not going to know that they're watching my videos. Now, I took a lot of videos down. I had almost 3,000 videos. I had almost 3,000 videos, or a little over 3,000 videos on YouTube. I took a lot of them down. I've been posting since 2014, and of course it's 2017 now. And I took a lot of them down. It's just a little over 900 on there, and I'm gonna take a couple of more down. But I'm not gonna do that right now. The ones that are on there, I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna put a few more up. Okay, so they used this weapon on me. And when they used the weapon on me, I was sleeping for, like I told you, almost 2 years. I was sleeping in my mother's car or on somebody's floor. When I was sleeping in my mother's car, and every time I cough, I get dizzy. When I was sleeping in my mother's car, I would find different places, quiet places where I knew nobody wouldn't bother me or whatever, and go to sleep. Okay. So they will follow me around, which they're still doing to this day. I go and sleep in my mother's car, outside of the neighborhood, somewhere quiet on the parking lot, next to a business or something, some factory warehouse business. And they would come to that location. They knew where I was because they put a tracking device on the car. My mother had a red Chevy Cavalier at the time. And they put a tracking device on the car. They also broke into my mother's car, later on, and stole the speakers out. I put some I put some pile I put some Boss speakers in the trunk to try to give the radio a little bit more sound, a little bit more volume, although it really didn't work. But they broke into the car. Now get this. Anybody else breaking into a car, they just gonna smash the window, rummage to the car, take whatever they want, and then leave. This is what they did. They pulled the frame of the door back. They actually took the time, pulled the frame of the door back, put something in there and unlocked the door, and they took their sweet time. Took some music CDs like Beyonce and all that, took the music CDs, rummaged through, took, just trash. And then they actually went into the trunk. They unscrewed the speakers. They didn't rip them out. They unscrewed the speakers and took them out. And left the car, closed the door back nicely and left the car sitting there just like that. And this happened around the corner on Leviton behind Milton Electric. So we don't park over there anymore. Now that my mother has a car with a navigation system, and of course they track my phone, they still follow my phone around, tracking my phone. And I just dropped it and the battery came out, which is a good thing for me because I was about to turn it off anyway. Okay, so they tracked my phone. They got my phone tapped. The way I know they got my phone tapped is first off, you hear clicking sounds sometimes. And then the echo. The echo on my phone is their recording devices turned up. The way you tap somebody's phone, the way it works is the recording device on the phone that they have on there, listening in between, they can adjust the volume. And when they turn the volume up too loud, because when they turn the microphone on, they turn the volume up when I'm not using the phone, so they can hear. So they can hear what's going on around the phone when I'm not using it. They turn the microphone on. And they don't go back and turn the volume down because they never know when somebody's going to call. So they don't go back and turn the volume down, and when somebody call me, there's the echo because they got the volume turned up. They probably sitting there asleep. They're recording everything. And then when somebody call me, sometimes they don't have the echo on my end. Sometimes they'll have the echo on whoever calls me. Whoever calls me, they'll tap their phone. And people ask me, why do I hear echo on your phone? That's because the FBI has my phone tapped. So if you hear echo or clicking sound on your phone is tapped. Whether it's FBI, DEA, U.S. Marshals, whoever. Okay, so they follow me around to see where I'm going, who I'm talking to. They harass my family and friends. And they showed up at one guy's house with a SWAT team, basically. Except they wasn't. It was a whole bunch of cops and a whole bunch of feds showing up at the grandmother's house of somebody that I was hanging out with. And they scared that lady so bad that I just stay away. I don't even bother about hanging out with the guy anymore. Plus, he don't keep in contact. He run wherever. But they showed up with a bunch of cops at this lady's house scaring her so bad, because they want to know who lived there, who I'm talking to, who I'm associating with. I told you how they stole two of my mother's checks. So now the hospital where my mother works does nothing but direct deposit. And if you have a business, you should do direct deposit anyway. That way you don't have to worry about nobody copying numbers off the check or making a fake check and putting more money on it. But anyway, you should always do direct deposit. Never do checks. Don't do paper checks. Do direct deposit. Even if you have just 5 people working for you, always do direct deposit. Okay. Now, I told you how I printed out these papers years ago when I was doing research when they first started using this weapon on me. And the FBI terrorist bitch is still driving around like they're giving somebody a driver's license, but I'm not even worried about that right now. I told you how I printed this out years ago when I was doing research. And I want to read you something that I find, very interesting. Now it says, the first U.S. human behavioral control program, Project Bluebird, began in 1950 and was influenced by Chinese, North Korean, and Soviet mind control technology. The stated purpose was for use during times of war, but secondary and more covert agenda was the development of civilian control mechanisms. In April of '94, issue of Scientific American, it was stated that very low frequency acoustic beams can be used to suppress riots, control dissidents, demoralize or disable opposing forces, and enhance the performance of friendly special operations teams. VLF waves can be transmitted through GWEN, GWEN, that's ground wave emergency network towers, which are a series of 300 to 500 foot tall structures placed strategically every 200 miles in the U.S. A single tower will be sufficient to stop any local uprising that took place within its 200-mile radius. Now, cell phone towers are everywhere, but let me keep going. ELF towers can perform similarly. In 1982 Air Force Review of Biotechnology, it was said that ELF waves can be used for many purposes, including dealing with terrorist groups, crowd control, controlling breaches of security at military installations. ELF towers are being erected by the thousands across the world. The official purpose is for the cell phone transmission. Mind control activist Ken Adolchi states, it is no coincidence that the frequency band chosen for cell phone frequency use is 430 megahertz. Matches the frequency which affects human brain waves. That's why they call this a mind control weapon. In most popular metropolitan areas, there are at least several hundred ELF towers arranged in a grid-like fashion. This is what I'm reading, this yellow portion. Cell phone towers are everywhere. They put these towers everywhere. They put them around schools. They put them on top of apartment buildings. They put them on top of businesses downtown, high-rise businesses. They have them next to police stations. These towers are everywhere. This is why I said they're broadcasting through the cell phone towers. These towers are everywhere. These are low frequency towers that they use to broadcast their signal, which they're still doing. That's why when I'm away from the house, they can still mess with me, causing rain in my ears, making me throw up wherever I am. This is why I say they can do this. These cell phone towers are everywhere. They're extremely low frequency bandwidths that they can broadcast, pretty much anywhere. The only place you're not going to really be affected is probably up in the up in the mountains somewhere where there are no cell phone towers. Where you get no cell phone signals. This is the United States government's dirty little secret that they don't want anyone to know about. Now, before cell phones came out, of course, they were experimenting. Back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, they were experimenting. So they would move in next door to somebody and turn all kinds of knobs and push all kinds of buttons and make people go what they call crazy. Then they put these people in mental institutions, psychiatric wards and hospitals. And and these people should not be in there. So these mental hospitals that you see around, and when you see people walking down the street talking to themselves, or you see these homeless people standing around having conversations with themselves, these people are victims. These people are victims of this weapon. If you notice, these mental institutions didn't start popping up till what? Probably the 40s, but they created those mental institutions for those people that committed crimes that they called these people crazy. But how long have these mental hospitals really been around? And if you notice, more people are walking around talking to themselves. And you see more homeless people on the street talking to themselves, or even people that have homes. You see them sitting around just holding a conversation with themselves. These people are victims. Now, then they throw people to mental hospitals, pump them full of medication. If you don't take a pill, you get penalized, you get punished. Now that they have it exactly as they want it, they use this weapon to get people like myself or like Ern Alexis to commit crimes. Ern Alexis shot up the Navy Yard. I don't know if he knew how to document, but he knew exactly what was going on. And that's the reason why I knew what to look for when they started using this weapon on me. I lay down, go to sleep one night, all of a sudden I got a real bad headache. I can't even sleep. The FBI terrorists over there, the terrorists in the gray Infiniti and the terrorists in the gray Accord, sitting over there giving me a headache. The terrorists in the in the Infiniti kept making me throw up. Every day, just kept making me throw up for no reason. I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I just start throwing up, coughing and throwing up. These terrorists, the United States government using this weapon on its own citizens. Now, when the uprising happened in Brazil, down there, they started using some type of chemical or biological weapon on their own citizens. What happened? The The United States want to call them out saying, oh, if you don't stop, we're going to come down there and do something to you. Okay. Well, over there in the Middle East, I don't know, I forgot which country it was, but they used some type of biological agent which were killing people over there. What happened? The United States want to call them out. Oh, if you don't stop, we're going to blow you up. North Korea, they're testing missiles, nuclear missiles. The United States is threatening them. Now, if you notice, I'm saying the United States and everything. The only reason why China or Japan is concerned because those missiles had to fly over their country. The war between the United States and Japan, the Japanese War, occurred several years ago. Before Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. Now, the United States had been attacking Japan for decades before Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. Japan bombed Pearl Harbor in retaliation for the United States government attacking them for decades. The Korean War, the United States attacked South Korea. The United States, and you can look this up on the web, on the internet. You can look it up in the library books, your history books. You can look this up anywhere and find out everything I'm saying is true. The United States had the United States has attacked or been in some sort of conflict with every country on this planet. The United States is basically trying to control this planet. This is basically white people trying to force their ideology on other countries. The United States itself is nothing but a bully and a terrorist. Black people, my ancestors and yours, were enslaved. They were enslaved by white people before the United States government was formed. They came over here from Europe and murdered all of the Indians or Native Americans. They murdered them for their land. They enslaved us and made us do the work because they were too lazy to do it themselves. Now they have black people, what they call Uncle Toms. They have black people doing their dirty work for them. Why not have niggas kill some niggas? Why not put some niggas in that house at 3615 East Lombard Street, Baltimore, Maryland, and have them kill this nigga at 3613 East Lombard Street? That's what we do, remember? Every day on the news, all you hear is about somebody black getting shot and killed. Somebody black, the victim of a crime. And in the meantime, white people are sitting back laughing, looking at us, and waiting for us to die. Baltimore City has over 30,000 vacant houses, I think they said it was. And the majority of those vacant houses are in black neighborhoods. Baltimore City is kicking all of its Section 8 out of the city. And an FBI terrorist bitch in a black pickup truck, that one, sitting on the parking lot, just pulled up. I told you they follow me around, trying to see where I'm at, where I'm going, what I'm doing. But they're kicking, Baltimore City's kicking all of its black population out. All of the Section 8, kicking them out into the county. And them white folk don't want them niggas out there. That's why the counties are telling Baltimore City, you need to let us know when you send a Section 8 out here, because we don't want them. So, you have FBI, black niggas FBI, sat next door to me, using this weapon on me, trying to murder me, causing me, they made me have a heart attack just 2 months ago. And now they're making it feel like I'm drowning, making it hard for me to breathe, making it feel like I'm drowning, and I'm not even in the tub. I'm not even swimming. This is what they're doing. So that $10 billion lawsuit that I filed, now, even if a judge or jury finds in my favor, I know they're never going to pay out. But bringing some light to this, getting this in the public eye, getting your attention, it's the whole purpose of me making these videos. I'm not crazy, I'm not paranoid, and I'm not delusional. I make these videos because there's no telling how much longer those terrorist bitches gonna let me live. They can pretty much do whatever the fuck they want without retribution. This is why Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Taliban, Saddam Hussein, and all of those other groups that they call terrorists exist. This is why. They've been doing this for decades. Undercover, under the radar, and nobody knows until now. Now, if you want to help me get proof, firebomb that house. Shoot them bitches when they come out so I can go in there and get video. You know what their cars look like. You know what their cars look like. You know the tag number. If you want to help me get proof, I need a real good, strong thermal imaging camera like they have. Help me get one. You want to know the truth? You want some absolute proof? Help me out. Crazy and paranoid, delusional, conspiracy theorist is not me. I don't make these videos trying to get attention, because hell, I don't want attention. I've been living without making videos or putting any videos on the internet for a long time. I've been living without doing that for a long time. I'm 42 years old. They moved in there August 1st. I was arrested July 4th, 2009. They raided my house July 8th. FBI moved in August 1st. I didn't go to court till September. They got me fired from my job April of 2010. They started using this weapon on me in 2012. You do the math. It's 2017 now, and they're still using this on me. Again, none of them don't live there. None of those FBI terrorists live in this city. And now, that terrorist bitch in the gray Honda Accord got those two niggas riding around the neighborhood. I guess they're gang members. One riding a bike all the time and the other one walking with him. They got those terrorist niggas in the neighborhood telling the little drug boys in the neighborhood whatever. But I done already spread the word, and I'm still spreading the word right now as I speak to you. Which I'm going to cut this video short. Well, I think I pretty much got all the information out there. Whenever the terrorist is served by the U.S. Marshals, those court papers. Now, I filed the lawsuit. They're going to be served. So, between now and the court date, if one is set, I'm gonna keep making videos. I'm gonna keep telling you everything they're doing. So, if I die, it's 1:42 now, Saturday, September 9th, 2017. So, if I die, you know why. FBI used that weapon to murder me, or they had somebody shoot me. This is what they do. Yes, the United States kills its own citizens, so don't even think they don't. So, This has been another update. 45 minutes. I've been telling you what they're doing and what actions I've taken. Like I told you, I made an emergency video Wednesday when the terrorist bitch made it feel like I was drowning. It felt like I was suffocating. And the only way to explain, like I said earlier, the only way to explain the feeling is it felt like you drowning. It felt like I was drowning, but yet I wasn't in water. They started it while I was in the shower, and they continued it even to this day. Today, although the symptoms lightened up, I still have to go home and live in that house. I've been living in that house for 22 years. Been living there for what? They've been there for 7 years, 8 years. They've been there for 8 years. So I've been there for 16 years before they decided they wanted to move into that house and use that weapon on me. Yeah. See, this is why a lot of your family members are sitting in jail or in some type of psychiatric hospital. This is why a lot of your family members are dead. You got local and state police shooting us in the street. As you saw from the videos that the cops recorded, they're planting drugs on us. They're stopping people on the street and then taking they stop somebody miles away from their house, then drive the person back to their house and illegally search it and steal shit out of it. They're shooting us in the street, planting evidence, stealing shit from us. And now you have federal. Now, if local and state police are committing crimes against us, if local and state government is doing something we think is wrong, we're supposed to turn to the federal government. So if you got local and state police shooting us, planting evidence, stealing from us, and doing all this other stuff, and the federal government is using a high-tech weapon to plant evidence to get us to commit crimes, killing us, then who are we supposed to turn to? They can't build a ship that can go from here to that space station, but they can build a weapon, a mind control weapon, to get us to commit more crimes. See, this is the reason why people hate this country. This is the reason why this country is in the shape that it's in. This country is $21 trillion in debt. 21 trillion. Donald Trump and the current U.S. Senate, the current U.S. Congress just raised the debt ceiling so they could add more debt. $21 trillion wasted. When Bill Clinton left office, this country had a budget surplus. When the second George Bush took office, he started the process of this country going into debt. He started 2 wars, the Iraq War, and then the war where when the towers came down. This country went into financial ruins and is still there. When the law forces them, when they can no longer raise that debt limit. All right, think about it like this. You got a credit card. Okay? Now you done maxed that card out. You call the bank, you say, hey, can I get a credit increase? They say sure. So they give you a credit increase. Now you're simply paying the interest on that credit card. You're paying the minimum monthly balance. And you max that credit card out again. So you call your bank again. Hey, can I get another credit limit increase? They say sure. They give you a credit limit increase. You're still paying the monthly balance, and you max that out again, and you continue to do that. You keep paying the monthly minimum, And you keep calling the bank saying, hey, can I get an increase? Can I get an increase? That's basically what the country is doing. They keep calling that proverbial bank called Congress, asking for a credit increase. This country is $21 trillion plus in debt. $21 trillion. Now, if you look up U.S. debt clock in your Google search, in your search engine, if you look up U.S. debt clock and look at how much each person in this country would have to pay in order to pay that debt off, that's almost $200,000 per person, not per citizen, but per person in this city, in this country, I should say. Almost $200,000 per person. That includes everybody in jail, everybody on the street, homeless or not, even those illegals, almost $200,000 per person. When the law forces them to pay off that debt, that's when the real problems and the real fun are going to begin. Remember when President Clinton started, to pay off that couple of $1 billion the country owed? Remember when President Clinton had to shut the government down, had to cut a lot of programs? Well, just imagine what $21 trillion is going to do. Imagine how long it's going to take to pay off $21 trillion. Even if Donald Trump started right now today, shutting down the government, cutting programs, cutting funding across the board on every little thing, and even if he decided not to build that wall between Mexico and the U.S., imagine how long it's going to take to pay off $21 trillion. Even if Donald Trump was reelected 16 more times, this country will still not pay off $21 trillion within that time. $21 trillion. It would take, okay, let's say Donald Trump serves 8 years, which I'm hoping he don't. Okay, let's say he served 8 years and he cut as much as he can. And the next president served 8 years and he or she cuts as much as they can. It would take at least 12 presidents serving 8-year terms to cut that $21 trillion completely down to zero. They wouldn't be able to do it. And remember in the other videos when I told you it's a trickle-down effect? Well, if the federal government doesn't have any money, that means state and local government is not going to have any money. That means state and local government is going to cut programs. That means all of those things you so enjoy for free, like your food stamps, which I get now, they're going to cut even more than what they already did. All of those programs, all of those after-school programs that you so enjoy and that you think is going to help stop people from getting shot in this city and in this state and around the country, those programs are going to be cut. Baltimore City is already closing a whole bunch of schools, like the one behind me, Northwestern High School / Forest Park High School. Closed. This building, which is behind me, this is Northwestern High School. They converted this into 2 schools, Northwestern and Forest Park. This school is closed. This school is closed. No kids come here anymore. This school is shut down. Baltimore City has already closed a whole bunch of schools. They trying to open up charter schools, but this school is closed. Budget cuts. Kids can go anywhere in the city now that they want. This is why this is why this country and this planet is the way it is. The United States is behind it all. So stay tuned. Between, like I told you, between now and the time we go to court, if a court date is set, if I'm still alive, I'm going to continue to make videos, and I'm going to keep you updated. The papers have been served. The process has started. Like I said, even if nothing comes of it, I'm bringing this to the light. Stay tuned.